guys, it is Dani and welcome to this another update video on the tropics. And so we have our three systems to talk about. We have what is now Tropical Storm Bill, our second named storm of this Atlantic hurricane season, and we have that Gulf disturbance still given a high chance to develop and it could become a depression late this week. And if you're along the Gulf Coast, you are going to be in for some impacts. And then we have that disturbance south of the Cabo Verde Islands just off the coast of Africa, which is highlighted in yellow, to also talk about. And so before I go into details, okay guys, and so now into details with today's video. And so we are seeing here that this new disturbance is now given a 10% chance to develop. So the chance has decreased from 20% to 10%, and that is due to it not really having much shower and thunderstorm activity now. So most of that activity has dissipated, and also this thing here is going to be encountering a lot of unfavorable conditions ahead of it. And so guys, now let us look at the satellite view of it, and we are seeing here that we don't really have much going on for this system. And so if there's going to be any development, it's going to be really slow to happen, and then it is going to be encountering a hostile environment. So the chance is very low for this thing here to develop, but we still have to pay attention to it. But we could see this thing no longer being an area of interest for the National Hurricane Center, if it is most likely that we will not have any sort of development happening. And so guys, now let us go on to our Tropical Storm Bill. And so as you are seeing here, Bill is making its way to the northeast at 31 miles per hour. So it's moving very quickly, and it is expected to become post-tropical by sometime early on Wednesday, and then by Wednesday afternoon or sooner it could impact Newfoundland. And if you're in the eastern section, you may experience some inclement weather conditions. But this thing here is moving quite quickly, so that's not expected to last long, guys. And so Bill is not really expected to strengthen anymore today, and we're not expecting it to be a hurricane, and it isn't going to be a threat to the United States. So fortunately, this thing is well offshore of the US and is just going to be making its way up to the northeast and eventually dissipating. And so on satellite view, we are seeing here that Bill is looking fairly organized, but it really has very limited time left. I mean, I'm talking about just like the rest of today, if it is going to be intensifying anymore. And after that, we're expecting it to be gradually weakening down to a post-tropical cyclone and eventually being dissipated. And so guys, now let us go on to our Invest 92L, which is the main trade for this video. And so we're seeing here the chance is still at a high 70% for it to develop during the next 5 days. And so it is still loitering in the Bay of Campeche, but we're expecting a northward track going into the end of this week. And so maybe by Thursday, when it's making its way northward to the Gulf Coast of the US, this thing here could achieve depression status. And regardless, if you're along the Gulf Coast, especially Louisiana, you are going to be impacted by this thing here. So regardless if it develops into a tropical cyclone or not, you are likely to be feeling the impacts from late this week going into the weekend. And so guys, if you're curious, the next name to be used after Bill is Claudette. So if we have a tropical storm coming from this area of disturbed weather, it is going to be acquiring the name Claudette. And so again, if you're in Louisiana, I would also say Texas and probably Mississippi as well, you really want to be cautious, because we are expecting that this thing here is really going to be having some significant impacts in terms of the rainfall. And it really doesn't take a strong tropical cyclone such as a hurricane to devastate an area. A depression can do just that, because in any tropical cyclone, the water is the serious and the main part of the system, guys. And so again, please take necessary precautions and stay safe. Ensure that you're not in a flood-prone area, and if you are driving and you see a flooded roadway, please do not attempt to cross. It just takes a few inches of mobile water to knock you off your feet or to even lift a car, guys. So please do not take any unnecessary risks when it comes on to these events. And so guys, in terms of what our models are expecting for our Invest 92L, we have quite a few, really 2 of them only, showing that this thing here is going to be achieving tropical storm status. The rest are not expecting that. Maybe a depression, but nothing very significant, guys. And so it is possible that we could definitely have this being a tropical storm. But again, regardless if it becomes a depression or a storm, if you're along the Gulf Coast, you might still feel some significant significant impacts here. And so looking at satellite view of it, we do have some areas of the convection noted, but we realize that quite a bit of it is a bit inland and not very much so in the Bay of Campeche, guys. But as it's going to be loitering around, making its way to the north, we're expecting it to be looking a lot better and probably develop, guys. And so that is really it for this update on the tropics. So again, we have this new disturbance south of the Cabo Verde Islands given a lower chance to develop due to the lack of shower and thunderstorm activity as well as a hostile environment ahead of it. We have our tropical storm Bill, which is going to be making its way to the northeast, might be a threat to Newfoundland but not expected to bring any major impacts. And then we have our Invest 92L, which could develop into our next tropical cyclone according to the name Claudette. And so the Gulf Coast is at risk, guys. And so guys, I will keep you updated as time goes by. And if you found this video to be quite informative, please give a thumbs up, and you can also share your thoughts in the comments or ask a question. I'll try to respond as best and as soon as I can. And just remember to always weather wise, and of course I'll keep you updated as time goes by.